Are you about to be fired by artificial intelligence? Can a robot do your job? Stay to the end of this video to find out. Now, I'm sure you've heard all the buzz and you've seen all the things on the internet about artificial intelligence or AI. If you don't know what AI is, here's an explanation from the encyclopedia. AI, or artificial intelligence, is the ability of a digital computer or computer-controlled robot to perform tasks commonly associated with intelligent beings, like humans. The term is frequently applied to the project of developing systems endowed with the intellectual process characteristic of humans, such as the ability to reason, discover meaning, generalize, and learn from past experience. So the question is, can you be replaced by a robot? Maybe. It might give you another job entirely. When computers started getting mainstream, a lot of jobs were killed off over the course of a few decades. Other jobs remained, but were changed in many different ways. And obviously, computers created whole new industries. In this video, we're uncovering the top 20 jobs on the chopping block in the age of artificial intelligence, and we're doing this in no particular order. Will your job make the list? Let's find out. Truck drivers. You know, it's kind of hard to accept the fact that trucks may be driven by robots someday. I mean, I grew up at a time when truck drivers were hard living, hard drinking guys that had really cool nicknames on their CB radios. But companies are creating trucks that can drive themselves using sensors and cameras. Self-driving cars are a reality right now, so this one isn't hard to predict or understand. This might mean fewer jobs for truck drivers in the future. One article I read said that there are port cities in Japan and China that are making plans for roads exclusively for these trucks to take products from the port to a few different distribution hubs a few miles away to kind of cut down on the congestion at the port. As time goes on, he explained, this will expand from city to city, from country to country, until the population is comfortable with the tech in these trucks to have them on our streets and highways. In the United States right now, there's about 3.5 million truck drivers. Robot trucks will replace many of these jobs in the next decade. Manufacturing workers. This is another no-brainer. This has been going on since probably the 1980s, as soon as computers became a thing. But now with AI, it's going to become more of a thing because these robots that do a lot of our manufacturing will be able to fix themselves or deal with problems that arise instead of just shutting down. That's the worry, that they really won't even need that many people monitoring these machines anymore. This is one of those things, a lot of people blame a lot of our manufacturing jobs going to China or whatever from the United States and to Mexico. Well, that does happen, but a lot of those jobs didn't go there. They disappeared because of automation. I forget the exact numbers, but I read this thing a few years ago, and it was something like the auto assembly line in the 1940s was like 35 people per line. Put a car together. That's per shift. By the time the 1980s rolled around, it was closer to 20 people. And by the end of the 1990s, it was down to about 10 people. I'm not sure those exact numbers, but it was something like that. You get the idea of where it was going. Robots are estimated to take over 20 million manufacturing jobs worldwide by 2030, according to Oxford Economics. Data entry clerks. Machines can quickly read and enter information into computers. This might reduce the jobs for people that are currently doing it manually. If you know anything about data entry jobs, this one totally makes sense. Data entry is something that's been slowly being replaced over the years. Mainly it's because they wanted a human to go over the information so the information wasn't skewed and goes out to somebody else and it's wrong and creates a whole big problem. With AI, that becomes less of a problem. Cashiers. This is another one that is already in play right now. Target has them, every single grocery store has them, where they have this self-checkout and usually one cashier type person monitoring like 6 or 8 of these self-checkout kiosks. And then you take it a step further and Amazon has those stores where you don't even need a checker. There's no one really working there other than stocking the shelves. You walk in and you walk out and the thing scans what's in your bag and just charges your Amazon account. They're called Amazon Go and there's Amazon Fresh, which is the grocery store version. I did read that they were closing 8 of the stores just recently. Amazon told GeekWire that like any physical retailer, we periodically assess our portfolio of stores stores and make optimizing decisions along the way. I think it probably has a lot to do with people walking out and not paying in those stores. The Bureau of Labor and Statistics expects a 14% decline in cashier jobs between 2020 and 2030. Agricultural workers. Farmers are using drones and machines for planting and picking crops. This means they might not need as many human helpers. This has been going on for a long time, but they predict there's about to be a big jump in automation. And that's kind of the theme with all these. AI is really changing automation. These machines are thinking and solving problems on their own, meaning even fewer humans are needed. Now, with most of these, it'll create other industries that are repairing these machines that can't fix themselves, programming them, cleaning them, all kinds of different things. Customer service jobs. Have you ever chatted online with a company and wondered if it's a human or machine? Many companies have automated chat systems, which means they're going to hire fewer human representatives. Research firm Gartner predicts that by 2030, 80% of customer interactions would be managed without a human, or at least in part, largely due to AI. It's sort of been going on for a while too. You know, you call in and you get the phone tree. If you'd like to look at your account, hit 1. If you'd like to hear your current balance, hit 2. If you'd like to talk to a representative, please hang up the phone. Side note, I'm the actual voice on a few of those around the country. At least I was. I think a lot of them have been replaced by that computer animated voice. Warehouse workers. In big storage buildings, robots can pick up and move items around. This could mean fewer jobs for humans in these places. I mean, Amazon, as of 2019, had over 200,000 robotic vehicles working alongside humans in their warehouses. Telemarketers. Computers can now make phone calls and sell things. This might reduce the need for human telemarketers, and I think that is a good thing. There's nothing more dehumanizing than actually working as a telemarketer. When I was 18, I needed a job for like 6 months before I went in basic training in the Army. So I went to one of these companies that was hiring right away. I worked there for 1 day, showed up the next morning and told the supervisor, I'm not doing this job. Take care. The Bureau of Labor and Statistics anticipates a decline of 25% in telemarketing jobs between 2020 and 2030. Bookkeepers and accountants. Software could do many of the math tasks like balancing budgets and tracking your spending. And if your company's not that big or complicated, you really don't need one right now. I've been using QuickBooks for years. It takes whatever I spend on one credit card because I linked it, and it just puts it into their software as soon as I use it. I don't have to do anything really. Then I just send that to my tax guy, problem solved. The McKinsey Institute estimated that around 50% of current work activities in accounting and bookkeeping are automated by adaptive technology, and this could possibly balloon to 75% by 2030. Market research and analysis. Computers can quickly look at what people are buying or talking about online. Let's say you're working for a shoe company and you see that everyone is suddenly talking about a new shoe that came out. Well, the computer already knows their demographics, so when it sees that men between 18 and 35 are talking about some shoe or some athlete that's promoting that shoe, they know to push an ad out to people of that demographic. A McKinsey study found that 43% of the activities analysis do can be automated using current technologies. This is just going to become more of a thing. Oddly enough, the Unabomber warned us about this. Radiologists. These are the guys that take x-rays of you. Now, there's a lot more involved in their job. They're not just taking a picture and sending it off to a doctor. They know the picture better. They know what they're looking at. They can point things out to the doctor, then the doctor goes from there. Doctors still might have to check the results, but many of the machines are getting better at reading medical pictures than the radiologists are. This job won't go away, but they're going to rely on machines more in the future. Stanford University researchers found that an AI model could detect pneumonia on x-rays better than human radiologists in certain conditions. Legal assistants and paralegals. Computers can quickly search through a lot more paper than a human being can. Currently, AI helps paralegals do their job better and faster, but in the future, it's expected to kind of replace them. McKinsey estimates that 23% of a lawyer's job can be automated. Travel agents. There was a time when there were a lot more travel agents than we have right now. Online websites can suggest and book trips. While travel agents offer personalized advice, these websites might reduce the need for them in the future. In 2020, Status reported that the number of travel agents in the US dropped from around 124,000 in 2000 to 74,000. In 2020. It is predicted by 2030, this will become what they call a boutique industry, meaning it's just something that the wealthy will use. Bank tellers. With ATMs and online banking, fewer people visit the banks. Some banks actually charge you to go in and talk to a person now. They're just doing that to kind of force you to go outside and actually use the ATM or do everything online. This, of course, means fewer jobs for bank tellers. The World Economic Forum predicted in 2019 that around 30% of bank jobs could disappear due to automation within the next decade. Real estate agents. Virtual house tours are becoming more and more popular. While agents help in the buying and selling of homes, some parts of their job might be changed because of technology, and this could eliminate a lot of jobs or a lot of agents. Now, if you don't have to take someone around for a whole day showing them different properties because they found what they want online, that's going to knock down about 25% of an agent's job. No more Sunday open houses. Paperwork gets easier because of automation. I don't think this one's going to be much of a thing, but a lot of experts really do believe that's what's going to happen. A 2019 Redfin survey found that 64% of recent home buyers said they would be comfortable using a robot or a computer program to buy a home. Journalists. I could see this one a little bit. I don't think true journalism is going anywhere. We need that human involved. Computers can write simple news stories. Journalists still have to write deeper stories, but some news might be computer generated. In 2021, Bloomberg reported that 1/3 of its published content used some form of automated technology. I got online a couple of weeks back and ordered a book that was written by ChatGPT, and it tells you, you can get it on Amazon and it'll tell you who wrote it, and it says ChatGPT. I only got about halfway through the book. I was just doing it for research. It wasn't my type of thing. It was about romance. I'm not big on romance. Romance to me is really based on availability. Side note, that romance to me joke was written by ChatGPT. But I honestly think there'll be a shift towards journalists. This is my own personal opinion. I think journalists and companies will try and replace journalists with it, and then there'll be somewhat of a rebellion. Those companies will start losing viewers, shares, and the companies will start to fail because there's just not a human feel to it. And as we get accustomed to AI and all these things, we're going to start being able to pick it out a lot easier. Construction workers. Drones can look at construction sites, and some machines can actually lay brick these days. And I'm sure you've all seen 3D printed homes. Yes, they have them. And they're not printing them with plastic, they're laying down like a concrete. Like any job, as more machines and AI are introduced to this industry, fewer human workers will be needed. McKinsey's analysts suggest that the construction sector can automate up to 45% of its jobs right now. What's that number going to be like in 2030? Translators. This one I totally agree with. I know this is going to happen. It kind of already is. I mean, right now we have websites that can quickly translate languages and apps for your phone. It's just a matter of time before they replace almost all human translators. There will still be a need for translators, especially ones that want to make sure the translation is going properly for important business and government type jobs. It's a matter of time before we get some kind of earpiece that will let you understand what they're saying. Did you ever see that movie, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy? They put this little thing in your ear, which was an animal, and as soon as it got in there, it would translate. You could just understand any language. It's not going to be a fish or a little creature, but eventually I'm sure we're going to have earpieces that will let you hear other languages. Right now, Google Translate processes over 140 billion words daily. That was at the end of 2022, indicating a significant shift in translation needs. Fast food workers. Machines can now make burgers and serve coffee. This could change how fast food restaurants operate. In 2020, CNBC reported that fast food restaurants like McDonald's and Starbucks were testing automated kiosks and machines to cut down on labor costs. There's a lot of these going on. The McDonald's not too far from my house right now. Unless you're paying with cash, you have to go to the kiosk. They won't even help you. They just point you to the kiosk. I decided to be the old man type and walk up to the register and said, I'm not using that thing. And the girl's like, well, I'll help you figure it out. Well, I don't want a lesson. I don't want to see your job replaced. She totally looked confused. Back a few years ago when they were demanding higher pay at fast food places, someone put up a meme about, you want a raise? Here's your replacement, and showed one of those kiosks. Here's the thing. If a company can replace you with a machine, they will. It doesn't matter if you're making 10 bucks an hour or 15 bucks an hour or even 20 bucks an hour. Machines don't call in sick. Machines don't sue them because they've been fired. Machines don't sexually harass coworkers. It's just a matter of time before they are all run by machines and they got like 3 people working them. All right, before we get to the last one on this list, there's a link for Home and Money in the description area below. If you're thinking about moving someplace else in the country, take a look at their website. They can help you get in touch with a real estate agent any place in the country you want to move to. All right, on to our last one. Security guards. Cameras and sensors can watch buildings or areas. While human guards might still patrol, some of their tasks could be done by machines. As of 2020, companies like Nightscope have developed security robots, which are being used in malls, parking lots, hospitals, and office buildings. I went to their website. They're pretty cool. I have a thing called a MoreBot Scout in my office right now. It cruises around when I'm out of town for the week to make sure no one's messing with my computers or anything. It's pretty cool. I'll leave a link for it down below. All right, that is the 20 jobs that will be replaced or severely affected by AI and robots within the next 10 years. Have a great day, everyone. Be nice to each other.